In our 20s, we are constantly torn between trying to plan for the future and get our lives together, but then also feeling like we don't have anything together at the same time and like we know nothing and we're just trying not to drown. I know that that is really how it is, and I definitely feel that way. Even though I have a podcast and I'm always talking about how I'm trying to level up and, improve myself, I still feel that way too. But lately, I've been thinking, and I think it's time that we free ourselves from that. I think that sometimes it's important that we do take a breath, pat ourselves on the back, and remind ourselves that we actually are on the right track. Because if you are listening to this, chances are you definitely are on the right track because you care about what you're doing in life. So if you are somebody who feels guilty for taking a break a bit, you're just always torn between those two feelings, this is for you. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mindfully Aligned. I know that it has been a while, but that's because I've been doing this new thing where I live my life. Yes, guys, as we know, it was my birthday and I love February, so I've been living it up. I've been doing my thing. I've been here, there, and everywhere. After my birthday, I spent Valentine's in Punta Cana, and then I went to Vegas the weekend after that to see New Edition, my favorite R&B group ever. It was so awesome. And with all my escapades, with all my running around, it really forced me to just enjoy life. Like, it was a time where I was not as honed in on other stuff. And honestly, I kind of needed that. In the past, I have been super hard on myself and I have felt guilty about just taking a break and going on adventures. I feel like I always should be doing something else. Like, I'm the type of person where if I have a free hour, I feel really guilty like sitting on my phone. I feel really guilty like not doing anything because I feel like I should be doing something. So to spend a whole month running around having nothing but fun, I was like, Adonze, like, who are we? What are we doing? But through that, I did realize I needed that for sure. Sometimes I get so serious about life and the future and just so too locked in a little bit, that I forget that I'm young. In the last episode, I talked about using the fact that you're young to your advantage in terms of like planning your future and stuff like that. But also I forget to have fun because I'm young. Like, because I'm young and I don't have kids and I don't have to worry about booking a babysitter or whatever, if I want to see my favorite R&B group in another city, I can literally just drop everything and fly there, as long as it makes sense financially, But that really just made me realize that. I was in Vegas walking around with my boyfriend because he came along with me. I dragged him. And we were on Fremont Street, which was so dope. It was after we went to the Mob Museum. I love mob movies. I love that stuff. So I was in my zone. I was having a great time. And we're walking on Fremont Street and I look around and I'm like, yo, it's a Saturday and we're just like in a different city. And I just kind of had a moment where I was like, I have free will. I really have free will. Like, I can really just be in a different city for a weekend, go to another country, travel, do stuff, have fun, go to a concert. Like, I really can just do whatever. Like, I'm not in high school. I don't have to wait on mommy and daddy. I'm an adult, make my own money. I manage my own money. So I can have a little fun from time to time. Like, wow, if this is being an adult, I think I like it, And I had an episode about being a baddie on a budget. I talked about, doing things that are everyday things like hair, nails, stuff like that, while maintaining a budget so that we can save for our future. Obviously, that stuff is important to me, but I didn't account for also the big adventures, the in-between adventures, having just fun in life. And so this is kind of part 2 of that. Obviously, saving and investing is super important to me. And when I do a little splurge or plan for an adventure, I do feel a lot of guilt. But when I came back from my trip, my mom, my dad, even my uncle, who I'm close to, he gives me like a lot of great like financial advice. They all were saying, wow, Donze, it's so great that you are able to just go to Vegas for a weekend, have fun. Like, that's really what being young is about. And the thing is, for me, when I'm like spending money or doing something fun, I kind of feel like I do feel guilty and I almost feel like I'm letting them down. So for them to say and like validate that that's a good thing that I actually did that and I'm enjoying my youth, it made me feel great because it's like, you know what? I can be on the right track and I can still have fun. This is all about balance, and I think that along the way I kind of lost that balance a bit. Like, I forgot that I have free will, and if the numbers do make sense, again, I'm not advocating for going broke because like you want to just be everywhere. No, I'm not talking about being chronically outside. I'm saying for those of us who feel guilty for having fun, it's okay to do that from time to time. It's okay to, we'll always make sure our numbers are straight. We'll always make sure our finances are good. That is important. But also, you could put a little fun in the budget too. We could keep a little trip, a little weekend away here and there in the budget too. We can make that make sense for us. And on a deeper level, I feel like that sinking feeling of, am I letting my family down by splurging or whatever, comes from, or just trying to impress family, comes from my position of like being the oldest daughter, or I only have one sibling, so being the oldest and a daughter, something has to be said for that. I mean, we talk about that, people talk about that a lot. If you are an eldest daughter, moment of silence for you. Actually, salute to you, because we are underrated heroes. People do talk about us a lot, but we will always just be the unsung heroes. I'm sorry. We carry the family on our backs, bro. We live with an eternal pressure that is put on us by family, yeah, but also by ourselves, and we carry that, and we always feel like we need to be the best example, we need to be on 10, and we need to be perfect all the time. I know that's me, and I know that's a lot of us out there. I realized that's just not doing me good, because when I'm walking around with this immense pressure on my shoulders all the time, that is not healthy. I'm sorry. My world really changed when I took this sociology of health class my senior year, and I was reading about how, like, what stress does to the brain. And we know that stress is bad, whatever, but when you have chronic stress on the brain, it quite literally erodes the brain. It deteriorates, I cannot even say that word. It deteriorates the brain. It can cause Alzheimer's, dementia, and all these other chronic diseases too that we try to avoid just because of stress. We're all stressed, but we do carry stress with us, and I'm trying to eliminate that as much as possible for my health. So I'm trying to let a load off. I'm trying to ease myself a bit. I don't want to be carrying this immense stress all the time. It's already enough that I'm pressuring myself to, build towards the future and, have my ducks in a row all the time and like be perfect all the time. But do I have to do that? Sometimes it's really not necessary. Sometimes I do need to schedule a fun little trip for myself for my health. Which leads me to my next point. We need a little fun, little silly time so that we can feel better. By giving myself a little bit of a break to experience life, I honestly returned to work and all my stuff that I had to do with a refreshed brain, feeling better, more inspired, just because I let myself experience life. Again, I know those of us who feel really guilty for enjoying ourselves sometimes feel like it's taking away from work, but in reality, I came back to work, I'm coming back to the pod feeling more inspired than ever, more invigorated than ever, because I took a break, because I let myself go places, do things, experience new things. I'm coming back with a refreshed perspective that I can bring with me to work or bring with me to the podcast. I can't force myself to be a robot. I cannot force myself to be a machine. I am just a girl. So I have to have a little fun, silly time just so that I have a personality still. I have a spark. I have something to talk about and something that inspires my perspective consistently. And this fear I have in the back of my head about like falling off or getting distracted from my goals or whatever that's like constantly haunting me, I realized because that's something I already think about, it won't happen. When you fall off of a goal, it's because you're not thinking about it. It's because it's not in your awareness. It's not on your attention. And so you just kind of fall off. You don't even realize. But because I am somebody, and if you're watching this, you probably are too, because I'm somebody who is constantly thinking about how to improve or constantly thinking about my goals, I realize I actually don't have to worry about falling off because I quite literally cannot, I quite literally cannot. Even when I was on the break from the podcast, living, jet setting, whatever, I still was thinking about all the things I want to talk about when I get back. So I realized, I'm going to take the pressure off of myself about constantly worrying if I'm doing good or not, or am I doing enough? Because it's on my mind, it's ingrained in me, and I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I can schedule a break for myself. I can make sure I'm having fun because I realized The hardworking stuff, it's within me. You know, I had to kind of assure myself of that. I'm not going to lose it just because I enjoy a concert in a different city. You know, like that, like when I really talk about it like that, I realize how crazy that sounds. Like, it's okay. And so, yeah, if anything, it helps you out because you get to just bring a refreshed version of you back to your work and just maintain a good standard of happiness. I had an absolute blast this past month. I actually just posted a reel on the podcast Instagram, so go follow that if you are not, of my time in Vegas. You know, I think I do want to include more lifestyle stuff now that I'm going to be doing more interesting things in life on the podcast. So come along with me. Let me know if you guys even want to see that. Let me know. But yeah, that pretty much concludes this episode. Just a quick one because I actually have a really packed day today. I have a crazy little work project coming up. But yeah, I wanted to jump in and just get back to you guys because I missed the podcast so much. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about what my thoughts have been while I was away. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you are also someone who has felt guilty for taking a break or just having fun. And you know, just remember, we can make it happen for ourselves. We can plan little adventures in a way that makes sense. You know what I mean? We deserve that. We cannot be robots. So yeah, that is this week's episode, and now it is time for the song of the week. This week's song of the week is actually a double feature, 2 songs. The first one is Just Fine by Mary J. Blige. Popped into my head actually right before I recorded this, and it just is the perfect vibe for this week's message. Just a bouncy, fun song, and it's like, I think in the beginning of the song too, she says like, sometimes I just want to have fun, and she just is like, she just gets into it. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I do just want to have fun. I am not a working machine. Sorry. And the next song is Extra L by Doechii and Jenny. I love, love, love this song. It is so hype. It just really gets me going. If you haven't heard it yet, honestly, like just go listen because I can't even describe. It's just so lit. Like, I don't know. And I love Doechii. If you haven't listened to her yet either, check her out. And I'm now getting into Jenny's discography because of this song, so I'm really liking it. Yeah, those were the songs of the week. Be sure to check them out on the Mindfully Aligned playlist linked below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, show all the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye.